Good morning, and thank you for joining us for Coffee and Collaboration. Your host, Kimberly Winborn, will show you the power of proactive networking. Grab your coffee and let's get started.
Hey y'all, hello. Welcome to another episode of Coffee and Collaborations. My name is Kimberly Winborn of Kimberly Winborn LLC. Coffee and Collaborations and all things about it can be found at www.coffeeandcollaborations.com. Again, www.coffeeandcollaborations.com. And I wanted to bring that up early because I want you to take a moment, go to the website when you get some time after listening to the show, or if you're a multitasker like me and you can go look at it right now, then go to the website and go to the About Us page. I want you to look at my bio, and then also on there is my business partner, James Branch. And so just so you can know who we're talking to, who you're listening to today, because he's joining me for the show. It's been a while since he's been on. Just kind of been behind the scenes. He's that guy that's kind of behind the scenes, but has so much value that I asked him if he would join me on the show because I want to start a segment where we begin to get back to the core of why I started the concept of Coffee and Collaborations, which he loved and was like, hey, I want to support you. And that is because of financial literacy as well as entrepreneurship. And how I met James, if you guys heard a show before, we met about 5 or 6 years ago as insurance agents for an agency in Durham, North Carolina. And we were able to establish an amazing friendship and respect for one another as a result, which turned into a business partnership. And we do a lot together in finance. We launched a credit repair company about a year or so ago called Fixed Credit for You, which has merged into Credit Repair Self. So we do financial credit repair, credit enhancement, business credit, the like. And then also I am a financial development coach and he's in personal development. So both of us wear personal, professional, and development hats, and then me financial development coaching, being a certified financial education instructor. So wanted to give you a little history on who he is, how we met, and then in a moment after I give him the opportunity to say hello, then I'll come back and kind of explain a little bit more where we're going to be going with the show. Hello, James.
Hello, Kim. How are you?
I'm great. And then the listening audience.
I'm glad to be back on the show. It has been a while, as Kim mentioned.
Yes.
So we're going to get into some pretty interesting topics today. So
yes.
Just pay attention.
Yes. And let me tell you guys, James is amazing. And I always tell him this and he just blushes. He's a chocolate man that blushes when you tell him how amazing he is, if you can believe it. But we have, together maybe a combined 25 plus years of experience in finance. And a lot of times people who are in finance kind of trickle away because it can be a little challenging. You have to work with people, which is always challenging, but it's also fun. You actually have to be passionate about this work because it's a lot of follow-ups. It's a lot of understanding. It's a lot of inspiring, encouraging, educating. And that's a hat that I really truly love to wear. I love connecting people to resources and I love providing education. And that's what James and I have in common. We love providing education. And the way to financial freedom is financial literacy and entrepreneurship, in my opinion. And I believe he would agree with me. What do you mean? And so there are so many forms of entrepreneurship. And I really think we got to get back to really explaining that. Like we've been talking about networking and collaboration. You know, the show, I talk about how through amazing networking, intentional networking, you can create awesome collaborations. And as a result of that, you get a missing puzzle piece that can help in your business. You can actually save money, you can save time, you can save mental strength as a result of collaboration, and then you can get to sustainable profitability in your business, especially for those that are startups, a whole lot faster than doing it alone. And there's no competition because we are made for one another. We are made to work together. And so as a result of that, you can grow your business. So that's what Coffee and Collaborations has been about. But I was talking to James and he agreed, we got to get back to explaining entrepreneurship and the opportunities that are available to you in that space. I mean, we need to share some amazing statistics as to the low amount of money that you can bring additionally into your home that can change your life based on statistics. I mean, and it's not even that much. We got to get back to sharing that stuff. We got to get back to introducing you to people in the financial field that we're collaborating with and be able to share some of our success stories with clients. We got to get some clients on here that can say, hey, as a result of, and I'm talking about entrepreneurs as well as those who have just gone through and really got started without being an entrepreneur and then evolved into that and can say, hey, this is as a result of connecting with their team and growing. And it's not about highlighting us. It's about highlighting opportunities and resources that you have available to you to be able to just turn a different switch on and have more opportunities to grow your revenue and get to a different level. So we're coming up on the end of the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter. And so a lot of people will say, the year is over for me. I'm just going to start over in 2020. And, a lot of that is based on the fiscal year and all of that. But I challenge you that whether you're an entrepreneur or not, if you have an interest and you're intrigued by the possibility, especially after listening to this show, then now think about who you need to connect with. Now think about who you could potentially collaborate with. And we're going to coach you through that on this show. Not today, but it's going to be a series of shows where we're going to coach you through that process. I told James, we got to get back to talking a little bit more about how you really make money. Yes, these amazing networking opportunities. Yes, collaboration, but how you just starting, or how you knowing that you need to go to a next level in your collaborations, or how you with ... that you have going on, processes and systems that are lacking, can grow to the next level and can do that putting systems in place between now and the end of the year to launch a powerful 2020. So James, we were talking about collaboration and how many people have said, no, I don't want to collaborate because I did that at one time in my life and I got burned. Somebody took my idea. Somebody took money from me, whatever the situation. And I said to him, James, do you mind sharing a story without saying any names, but just sharing a story that you can think about, or even a story that you heard of someone who maybe you had an experience or someone else's experience that the collaboration didn't work well, but they didn't give up on the idea of it and was able to create an amazing collaboration. And I think our collaboration is great, but was able to create an amazing collaboration to the point where they are able to get to sustainable profitability or be able to have a piece of the puzzle that was missing, that have been able to grow to another level. So James is going to kind of take the floor and share a little bit of his experience with collaboration, good versus bad.
I can think of a couple situations, but one in particular where you can form a friendship and a partnership with good intentions, and you're working hard and you find yourself liking that person, thinking that they're great. But I got to say, you've got to find out early what their intentions are. Mm-hmm. And a lot of things show up in the beginning that we overlook, but because they appear to be such an amazing person, we overlook it. And we think that eventually those traits that we're needing will show up. Mm-hmm. But you can get into relationships where you're working side by side with people, where you come to find down the road that you're putting in 80% and they're not putting in anything. It's always tomorrow they'll get to it. And you'll find out at some point that it's draining the relationship.
Right.
And if you are that person, if you're in a relationship with somebody, you got to meet them somewhere near the halfway point sometimes. It doesn't have to be 100%, but it makes a difference because two heads can work better than one.
For sure.
And when you form these partnerships with people, you got to look at that relationship in the very beginning. Smiling and talking and showing up and looking good and smelling good is more to business than just that outward appearance. I need to know that you have my back and I have yours, and that's in almost any relationship, but especially true in business because you're talking about money. You should have a common goal that we're trying to help each other get to that next level, and whether it's you or somebody else, I need to know that I can count on you.
Yeah.
So I spent a long time working with an individual where it was pretty much 90% me and the 10% from them. I don't know if it ever showed up. It cost me a lot of money. It cost me a lot of time. And then dishonesty. There were things where money was being taken from me and it never showed up because, it was deals that was done. And it was like it'll show up. It just hadn't showed up at the bank or the check hadn't gone through, but it never came through. And that can be devastating when you get down the road, especially 3-4 months where you're looking for that revenue.
Yeah.
And it's not ever going to come. And we just have to be careful about the partnerships that we get involved in out here because it matters. And if you're smart, these things will show up early. And don't wait to some point down the road to find out that this is not the right relationship. And being in business in itself is tough, but you don't need to watch out for the relationship that's supposed to be a help and not a hindrance. So you got to be really careful.
Yeah. So that was a great example of one that didn't turn out so well. So what made you say, I'm not going to give up on this? Because you could have been like, I'm never working with anybody ever again. And so what made you say, hey, I'm going to give this thing another try? Like, for instance, with our collaboration or even any other collaboration that you made after that point?
The one thing that I guess kept me going, because it took me a while to get over that, but in terms of our relationship, we're always there. We're checking, we're letting each other know, look, I'm going to be late, or look, this is not working out. Can you help me with this? Can you cover me? And I do, and you do the same for me. There's no question about it because throughout time, you have shown that you're going to be there. If you can't, you're going to let me know, and it's usually in enough time to where I can do something else different. And that matters. And when it comes to resources, sharing resources, there's never no question about it. If you can do it, you're going to do it. And likewise. So we work together that way. And it's made for a great relationship to explore other opportunities because we don't have to worry about, will you be there?
Right.
And I think we know that about each other. So whatever adventure is ahead of us, we can take it on knowing that we can be committed 100%, not worrying about, is that other person going to be dependable? Can I count on them? And if I don't know, will they dig in and figure it out for me? Or
right.
I likewise. So it's been great. And it made for some wonderful experiences down the road where we was able to build insights and help other people because we was working together and in a partnership, a true partnership.
Yeah. And I think about that word partnership and how so many people I've asked, or I say, this is my partner, and they'll say, I've never had a business partner, or I've never actually used that term because I've always had to build myself, or maybe I work with some other people, but to see like, hey, Kim, you're able to do so much because I see you working with people, and so many people now, I know you try to stay behind the scenes, but so many people know you and what you're about because of this partnership. And so many people know me and what I'm about because of this partnership that maybe we never would have on each side of the coins, they never would have met one or the other. And so when you say opportunities, we've been able to have other opportunities. I think about that and how we can sit like right now across from one another, recording this show, but we started off in finance, but as a result of that commitment to growth, as a result of realizing we're there for one another, now we're able to brainstorm, like you said, and be able to have other opportunities. So we're able to expand in our business. And so that is truly the power of collaboration. And I wanted James to share that, you guys, because he said he lost lots of money. And I know that had he not been the person that he is, the person that people love and trust, he could have lost relationships. He could have lost friendships as a result of that particular scenario. For instance, you never know what your dirtiness, dirty ways do in relation to others. And that's why so many people say, I'm not going to collaborate anymore because it was such a blow. But that didn't stop him. And, we've had this great partnership as a result. And so I wanted him to share that. One of the things that as we were sitting here talking and we've been planning out this show, he brought up the fact that so many people in entrepreneurship, first of all, are working so much in their business instead of on their business. And you just created a job for yourself. Whereas the opportunity for entrepreneurship is to grow and to be able to hopefully one day, the goal for all of us is to be able to create jobs in most cases. Many of us have that desire to be able to give back to the community in a way where we can create jobs and we can influence leadership in others. We can influence communities and leave a mark, leave a legacy. But it doesn't happen so often because our processes and our systems, and we don't seek out the information that we need, all of those things. And so I love that he brought that up. So working in your business, working versus working on your business, that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about in some of the upcoming shows. And like I said, we'll reference resources out, not just people, but also books and things of that nature. And if you have a book, if you're listening and you have a book or you have a class or training or something, and we need to be connected to you, go to info@coffeeandcollaborations.com and reach out to us and let's schedule a meeting so that we can see if you're somebody that we can give a platform to be able to help encourage, educate, and inspire others. So James, can you just break down really quickly when you say working in your business versus on your business, what that really means?
If your business depends on you being there to be profitable, to function, then you probably created one of the worst things in the world is a job. I don't like jobs. They have their place, but I prefer working for myself. I like being available to work with people on their schedule. And so when I was employed, I couldn't do that. It was always when I get out of work, the weekend or something like that. But people have needs that don't really fit into that. So working in a business and you can't function unless you there, that's not a great place to be in. So what you have to do is have systems in place, and you're one of the best at helping people create systems. But you need people working with you in your business that can pick up particular tasks that if it's a product, they can make it, they construct it, and pretty soon they can build that product or provide that service when you're out networking, when you're out doing something with your family.
Right.
And that helps you focus on other things. But so many times we get out here and it's a fashion, it's something to have. I mean, it sounds good, I got my own business, but are you profitable?
Right.
Will it work without you being there? And that's where we got to get to, because if it's not that way, then what you created is a job. You had a job. But let's work at finding ways to make a system in place so that you can employ other people, so that they can come in and work in your business.
Right.
And then you might be able to expand and have 2 or 3 businesses.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with having more than one business. A lot of successful people in this country have more than one. And so when people say to me, I can only do one thing at a time, I just disagree with that. Keep your mind open. We do a lot more in our everyday life than just one thing all day long. So that's true in business. So when you understand that, you need other people, you need services and a system, a manual, a guide, so that other people can get involved and help you reach a level of success that you can't do by yourself.
Right.
Now, if that's all you want to do, that's one thing. But if you want to get to those numbers where people are talking about the 500,000 plus 300,000 or $1 million a year, doing it just solo, you're going to be tired. You're
Right.
going to be really worn out, and it might not be possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think in the current times that we're facing, with economics being a big question mark about tomorrow, we have to find a way to earn extraordinary income as soon as possible.
Yeah.
It might not happen overnight, but we don't know what's coming tomorrow. We never do. But the sooner we can get to places where that we can get our money properly invested, so that we can have interest return coming in on a monthly, quarterly, annual basis,
Yeah.
that'll be there to help us be ready for whatever tomorrow is. Because I think it's better to have a nice nest than no nest at all.
Yeah.
And one thing, when we was doing the insurance, I had the opportunity to go in so many homes, especially our elderly people,
Yeah.
who did not prepare after 30 or 40 years of work, and they live like they're in a third world country. The house is falling in, and
Yeah.
things need to be done. There is no income
Right.
to do that. That retirement income, a lot of people don't realize that some retirement situations, the money runs out before you pass away. And sometimes the Social Security itself is not enough.
Right.
So what do? You're too old to get out here and work anymore. Your children may or may not be helping. It's just so many things to think about. So
Yeah.
when you're in business, getting to a place to actually earn extraordinary income can help give you options so that you can prepare for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not one who want to work the rest of my life. So if you like working until death, so be it. But I think there's a lot of people out here who would much rather enjoy the time that we have on this earth, doing the things that you want to do, and just enjoy life, family, kids, and etc.
Right. So working on your business instead of working in your business. So creating systems, being duplicatable, showing others and sharing with others, building a team, as well as being able to create jobs, hiring others. So powerful. And then he also went into, like I said earlier, we're going to be touching on some other financial components. So even talking a little bit about retirement and goals for the future financially, and are you where you need to be now in order to achieve those things long term? What's your 5-year, 10-year, 20-year, 30-year goals, and further on? You know, because somebody could be listening that's just graduated from high school. Somebody could be listening that's in that space that he just mentioned. You're at retirement age, but you actually can't afford to retire. You know, there's so many different things that we're going to be talking about, so many options that you have. And so speaking of entrepreneurship, like he just highlighted, that entrepreneurship is an opportunity to, if you're in that place, to expand your income from starting a business. And there's so many opportunities in the entrepreneurship space. It can be a hobby that you make into a business. It could be a turnkey multi-level marketing sort of opportunity, or like I said, a turnkey franchise, you know, all of these different models where you just go in, there's already a system in place, and you just work that system, and then you bring people on board and you can start a business in that way. Some of them are very low cost entry as well, and so your investment is low. And so there's just such an opportunity to get into a different bracket, get into a different space in your life, achieve some of those goals that you have. And we got to get back to the business of sharing that with you. I want to continue to bring on guests, you know, that are amazing entrepreneurs in various arenas, but I want to bring on those financial experts, those that are really, truly working with people daily, like myself, like James, and like many of those around us, who can help inspire education and information on financial literacy and entrepreneurship. And so I'm glad he mentioned that, and I'm glad he went into retirement and the importance of being able to set yourself up properly. And if you haven't, there's still hope. And that's the whole thing. There's still hope. You don't have to give up. So thank you, James. Were you going to add something to that at all?
I think that's pretty much
Okay.
it. And I mean, one little quick thing is, like you just touched on, there are other ways to get in business where you don't need a lot of capital to get started.
Yeah.
That's so important. And don't think because it was, you know, $100 to get started that it can't produce six-figure incomes.
Right.
I mean, you'll be sadly mistaken. And then the other thing, the tax advantage is just by having a business, whether it's direct sales or whether it's a brick and mortar. That's where you're going to get that break on your taxes.
Yeah,
by
some
being
of
a
those
business.
write-offs. Yeah, that's so true. So you guys have to stay tuned, because follow Coffee and Collaborations, because we're taking the show to end out the year. We're taking it up a notch to really help you to get to another level in your finances and in your business and in your household and in your life. So if you have any questions, something that is you're listening to this and you're like, oh, I really wish that I could ask them this question right now, then please email us info at coffeeandcollaborations.com. You could also go to any of our social media pages. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, and you can go to Coffee and Collaborations and just go right on into the DM or the inbox, whatever you want to call it, and shoot us a question. You can send us a message, but we are available to you. You'll also find our telephone number on the Facebook page, and you can reach out to us and leave a message. But I will tell you, the best form is email for like a 24 to 48 hour response, because we do get a lot of calls in a day. So thank you so much. Please stay tuned to Coffee and Collaborations, like I said, for all of the stuff that we have coming up. At the end of the year, we're going to have an amazing event in December to end out the year, because we want to launch 2020 so dynamically. And the year is not over, guys. It is not over. You can, as a human, wake up, whether it's physically, spiritually, or mentally. You can wake up and say, I am going to do something different. I don't like where I am right now, and I want to achieve more. I want to do more. I am capable of more. I just know it. I feel it. I can have more. If that's you, do a couple things. Plug into the show. That's number one. Number two, get out a journal and write down, what is that more? What is that more that you want? Because as we all know, if you don't write it, you don't speak it, you don't envision it, the likelihood that it is going to happen is so low. So write that down. Begin to envision it. Gosh, you can even go into a magazine and, I know it's cliche, but look at some pictures, go on websites, really pull that stuff out and keep it in front of you daily. But write it down first. Write the vision, making it plain, because you can have it. You can have it. You can be it. You can do it. You can achieve it. So be a light. Go out here and shine. Thank you for listening to our show today, and make sure you have an amazing week. Thanks, James, for joining us, and I look forward to continuing to have these conversations with our guests. I'm so excited to have you join me and saying yes when I said, James, will you join me for the show? So thank you, James, and you guys will be hearing from him more.
All right. See you next show. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
You've been listening to Coffee and Collaboration, the #1 networking skill building show for people who want to take their skills to the next level. Please join us each Monday at 7 a.m. Eastern and 6 a.m. Central.